He's the board member of MAH. He's been a long board member of MAH, MAH, that means Malaysian Association of Hotel. He's a certified hotel administrator, in short, CHA. So this is CHA is American Certified Hotel Examination. So CHA, and he's also an adjunct professor, UNITA, International University for Hospitality and Tourism. Over 35 years of hospital experience. Ini orang lama lah in the industry. So our Halim here will talk to you about facts, about actual facts, what he has undergone through, and also what he's planning lah for MAH for this tourism recovery. And also I would like to welcome all those our regular who has been following this what do you call Clubhouse live and giving your ideas. So actually I brought in Halim here because he's a well-versed and knowledgeable person in the industry. Just to share with you, I think those all orang lama, Isaac from Langkawi, I think Shazwan, I see Shazwan, Niza,
Yes.
Niza from Terengganu. So and Zahira, thank you for joining. Zahira.
We have Zariha also
Zahira also is a very knowledgeable person.
from digital marketing.
Assalamualaikum Cik Aziz, apa khabar?
Hi Zahira, how are you?
Salam. Terima
Hi,
kasih
Andy.
Zahira. You have been giving a lot of ideas and it's good.
Yes.
You are in today because our guest speaker ini hari memang hebat memang hebat. I've known him and we've been together promoting Malaysia Malaysia those years with Tourism Malaysia. So very happy Cik Halim so that you could share with us.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Through your experience on the recovery. So I'll give the mic to you for your opening speech. Then of course after that I will start with one question. I have a few questions of course to get the ball rolling. So you are welcome. I would like to all of us welcome Cik Halim and hope you can share your valuable knowledge, Halim, to all the people in this industry and representing of course MAH national level.
Yes.
Okay, Cik Halim.
Thank you very much, Tuan Aziz, Andy, and everybody
Thank you.
else who's joined this Clubhouse session this evening. And it is my pleasure to be invited here and to share with regards to the road to tourism recovery. Yeah. And I must congratulate Tuan Aziz and Andy and everybody who is following this group, this Clubhouse, for participating in the previous. I understand this is the 6th Clubhouse session.
Yeah.
Organized by MAH Negeri Sembilan
And Anita also.
and Mita. I mean, Uzaidi.
Uzaidi,
I have had many sessions before, And I think it's an opportunity for us to share and discuss actually on ideas, because there's many ideas out there. So it'll be great to be able to share on this platform on, the current situation, what's going to happen next, etc., etc. So once again, thank you very much, and look forward to an exciting discussion session this evening. Yeah, thank you again.
Okay, Tuan Halim, I'll make it exciting. Dia mula-mula ni belum panas lagi. Nanti sudah panas. Zahira ni selalu dia banyak soalan cukup mas lah.
Hebat punya soalan.
Dia hebat lah, very active lah. It's good to have
Which is good.
people like her, very open, and I think she's also can contribute to our industry, especially the hotels. Okay, Cik Halim.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Cik Halim, the first
Yes.
I would like to start with, since the topic is on road to tourism recovery. Okay, especially we in the MAH is involved, but I would also like to bring attention to all those today in the industry that our industry all are interrelated. Jadi the first one is when the industry now is allowed to reopen back from phase 1 to phase 2 and the following phase onwards, how do
Yeah.
you foresee the recovery of the hotel industry since all of us have been more or less sleeping lah. Kalau cakap ada banyak kerja tu bohong lah. For the last 1.5 year lah, you know. So it's not easy because selepas tidur macam gini lama,
Yeah.
ditidurkan, so it's not easy to get used to, you know, to the system yang ada kepada ni bank akarat. I think since you've been engaging, I've been following your engagement with overseas that day, overseas. So
Yeah.
I would be, if you could share with us the what do you foresee the recovery of the hotel industry since it will be open, especially Negeri Sembilan tomorrow, to be exact, to the second phase. Of course, some states they have reopened, and some
Yeah.
states they're not. So in that context, please, Halim, if you could share with us your what you have
Sure.
in mind.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think the last 18 months or so, we've all been hibernating basically, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Buka
know,
tutup, buka tutup.
buka tutup and all that, But I think what's important here is how are we? I think the key thing that I always tell the MAH board members and also the management committee, plus people who call me personally and ask me, about many things, is let's forget what apa ni we say, di buka tutup and all that lah. Let's prepare ourselves for buka, right? So the key word here is how prepared are we lah, I've brought these points up to MAH before as well. That, let's prepare ourselves. Let's prepare our members. How can we prepare our members? We've spoken about realignment, resetting, macam-macam lah, all the re's that you can think of,
Yeah.
And I think it's come to the point now that vaccination program is going on well. The target set by the government is by October, everybody should be vaccinated, semua tu. And obviously, the current business that we can hope for or think about is current domestic. And I foresee domestic to go on at least for 1 year.
Yeah, 1 and 2 years. Yeah.
At least 1 year. And with that, basically our aim is to refocus kita punya marketing, refocus our strategies towards the local market, right? The domestic market. This includes expatriates who are here, who are, to be honest, when the window was open for a while towards the beginning of the year, end of last year and beginning this year, you could see the rush of all these people to the islands, to the resorts, and all that. Of course, there were some states or cities that did not get the advantage of it, such as some, Selangor hotels were not
all
doing
the city
well.
hotels.
KL hotels were not doing well. Port Dickson obviously did well, but what about Seremban? That was probably just lukewarm, So we have to prepare ourselves. And when we say we prepare ourselves, look at your own. I can talk in the context of hotel, or the tourism sectors. All our staff vaccinated. Have we got the SOPs in place? Are our premises and all the things that like tour buses and all that, are they all in tip-top condition? Are they all ready, right? And if they're not, what's the plan? Because if we are not prepared and the doors open, suddenly the government announced interstate can go, So even at phase 2 pun, I think it's still within district, there's still very little interstate travel. In fact, there's hardly, So we got to be prepared. We got to ask ourselves, as hoteliers, as shopping malls, as travel agents, tour bus operators, and all the other places of interest, such as the tourist spots and all that, are we prepared? Are we ready? I believe last week you had the Menteri Besar of Negeri Sembilan, the question was posted to him, are your facilities ready? Has all the public toilets been fixed? Has the places of interest been fixed? Has it been painted? Has it been cleaned up? Have the jungle been removed? The overgrown grass and whatever. So if we are not, and with these things happen, the door opens suddenly, everybody's gonna rush there, and then they're all gonna get disappointed, and they start blaming everybody. You know. So this is a chance, I think, opportunity that we have to look from now until October to set ourselves, to put everything in place. Hotels that are not operating, I'm sure they'll be thinking about opening again. Have they got the manpower? Have all the other facilities or tourism related facilities gotten their manpowers? You know, because many of people have gone into own business, driving Grab, delivery, masak-masak, and all that, and they find that it's rather lucrative at the moment or in this moment. Yeah, so I think that is the first thing we got to ask ourselves: are we prepared? Yeah, Francis.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Go ahead, Andy.
okay, so Angel Americans,
Yeah.
I have a question about this hotelier.
Mm.
Uh, we should, I think, do we have the hotelier to enforce all these SOP because to make sure the all these guests are safe to stay in
Mm.
and
Mm.
also to protect our staff as well. So I think
Yeah.
this period, I think is our last chance. We are highly
Correct.
depends on vaccination. So
Yeah.
we don't want to buka tutup again. This is
Betul.
why. So
Betul.
what is your opinions? Do you have any ideas how to
Mm.
enforce this? Because we cannot highly depends on the PDRM, all this
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
roadblock because every time
Correct.
there's a jalan tikus to come in, all these
Mm. Mm.
traveler are not responsible for their
Correct.
own health,
Correct.
but we have to take
Yeah.
care of it. So what's your
Of
advice
course.
to all the hotelier?
Well, definitely, I think, I believe there are two parts of this lah. Yeah, one is the responsibility of the hotel itself or any tourist related stakeholders,
Yeah,
company, organization. The other one is the rakyat Malaysia lah.
yes,
Yeah, the
yes,
people.
yes.
So it's a two-part scenario here, whereby first of all, we also know now. Well, there was some confusion earlier. They were saying that dine in and all that, the restaurant, the hotels, the staff must all be fully vaccinated with 2 doses. Then now come a new SOP to say no, it's okay if they've had 1 dose or 2 doses, they can, but the customer that comes in must be 2 doses, fully vaccinated, right? And I must say, today I was very proud to show off my certificate lah. First time kan, I had to go out
Yes.
for a while tadi, and fair enough, we were having a discussion dekat Starbucks, and the staff, after about 10 minutes, actually approached us and checked on our certificate, vaccination certificate. So with that, you see, it shows that we need to do our part. The place that you're visiting has to do their part. There was a mall that I wanted to go in it today also. At the entrance of the mall, the fella said, if you don't have 2 doses, tak boleh masuk. Okay,
Yes.
that's a very good control. Yeah. Even though I've showed them my certificate when I went into the Harvey Norman, they asked me again, and I showed again.
That's
And
good.
that clearly shows that there are responsibilities being taken by the respective organization or companies or shops or mall restaurants, Matu. And that should be the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
The hotel that I operate in Penang, I tell them, if the people checking in, two things you have to check for. One is dia punya surat that they are able to cross borders, satu, yeah, because at the moment only essential travelers can cross borders kan. Check for the letter, number one. Number two, check on their double dose. Kalau tak ada, just tell them, I'm sorry, we cannot accommodate you, we can't accept you because as it's clearly stated in our reservation or in our website that only 2 dose guests will be allowed to check in. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. We close our restaurant, so there's no worry about the F&B part. But the check-in at the entrance semua tu kena check. Because by now it should be second nature for us to do our My Sejahtera. Automatic dah. Secondly, check our temperature. Kan? It's already me. But I have also seen some who do not do it.
Yep.
As a responsible citizen, we should inform the shop owner or the restaurant person and say, excuse me, that guy didn't scan. That guy didn't check the temperature. Maybe you want to go and talk. Of course, the staff are afraid because there have been cases where customers have been very abusive, kan?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I think, and I believe strongly, we got to stand firm. The managers that are running this establishment must support the staff because this is the SOP that's been put in place. Kan? So that is my strong belief, and that is what I feel that needs to happen in order for us to go to Fasa 4
Yep.
at the end of the day. Everybody must do their part. There will be a small percentage of people who will not be doing it, but it's our responsibility to make sure they do it. Kalau tidak, you have all the right to refuse, number one.
Correct.
But we do have also, if I can expand on this a bit, I hear that there are some staff who does not want to be vaccinated.
Yes.
Kan? So
Minority.
there is that minority, but at the end of the day, personal beliefs and maybe if it's genuinely because you've got underlying illness, whereby the vaccine can cause you to go into a more difficult or more sick, kan? Then fair enough. Somebody asked me a question hari tu. Cik Halim, if that guy doesn't want to be vaccinated, can we terminate him? I said, well, it's a very tough call because
Correct.
at the moment now,
Human
the
rights,
SO
right?
human rights are two, labor acts are two. But if the SOP from the government comes out to say
But
that,
I think to override it.
then the government SOP comes into play, kan? What we have to be clear is jangan jadi macam minimum wage punya case dulu. The guideline in the end of the day sekarang dah tak boleh pakai dah, kan? The federal court has overruled the court of appeal and and say no, wages is not part, or rather the service points and all that is not part of wages, etc.
Because of the SOP clearly stated that all our staff must be one dose vaccinated.
Now, later on must be 2 dose. But that SOP, we have to clarify, does that SOP, is it a guideline
Override the labor law.
or is it the law? So I think we need to contact MEF, we got to contact MEF, we have to ask that question. Pasal apa, if that person cannot be vaccinated because of sickness, I cannot terminate that guy, right?
Yep.
It's not fair, you know what I mean? But if that person memang sajalah anti-vax punya person and memang tak nak, so if we say I'm sorry, then you cannot work here anymore, are we protected by the SOP or is the SOP a law, kan? So it's a big question mark now, which need to be resolved as soon as possible, because when the doors open and everybody start moving around, and suddenly you realize you got one or two staff who are anti-vax person, you cannot, do I stop that person from coming to work or what? So these are things that we got to, when we talk about SOP, we got to be clear. Like us also in the hotel, is the SOP, something that can hold you against your work performance? Is it a procedure or is it a standard of performance? Which comes first? Do I give that person a warning letter because you didn't follow the SOP, or is it because the way you did the SOP was also wrong? So what do I do? So it's a very grey area. We need to clarify lah.
I think this is the things that we are talking about live lah. So it's not the things that we are stubbornness or whatever not to. And also Encik Halim also give a very good advice. This is responsibility for everybody. Also, I hope there's a traveler in the room. Also, I mean, is a tourist in the room also listen this because all the rakyat Malaysia has a responsibility. If you are not vaccinated 2 doses, please don't stay at the hotel because you are danger to us and to everybody. Yeah.
Andy, can I interrupt a
Yeah,
bit?
yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Razwan.
Assalamualaikum, Cik Halim, Cik Aziz and Andy. Thank you for this session. Okay.
Shazwan, eh?
Shazwan, I'm from Podixon Golf and Country Club.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have a small clarification. I think can we have our own house rule for our staff that need to follow? Meaning, we have staff yang stubborn, they don't want to get vaccinated and all that. We have our own house rule to tell them as long you are not vaccinated, you are not allowed to come to work or enter the premises. I think that will really put things into place because I think when come to vaccine and vaccinated for the rakyat, I think everybody must get vaccinated because it's not protecting ourselves. It's actually the vaccine is to protect people around us.
As well.
So I think this is a national call. We have to put our foot down and have our own house rule to educate our staff to tell them that this is compulsory. You see, which we are practicing. I have about 2 staff, no name mentioned, which department and all that. They till today they are not. They registered in MySejahtera because without registering in MySejahtera they can't even buy KFC or enter Muhammad Shah. So, but they are not registered for vaccination till today. So I told them very simple. I'm not going to terminate you, but you are not allowed to come to work until you get full vaccination. Simple as that. As long you don't come to work, that means you are not going to get paid, you are on unpaid. You can go and see whatever authority, you can climb any court and all that. I will be there, I told them. Very simple. Because we are in the hospitality industry. I think in the last 1 or 2 session, I have mentioned the selling point after this is how safety is our property.
Yep.
You know,
And also we are
in
talking
term,
about life. Life.
yes, it's alive. Because we know this pandemic, I think till to date, almost reaching 15,000 life has been claimed. You know, people deaths, we are talking about deaths.
Malaysia lah.
You know, yes. And then kalau kita tengok ada yang kehilangan mak bapak. Macam yesterday I was watching this TV3 news. 8 children without single parent. I think this Pekeso went and gave some bantuan. 8 of them, you know, children. So bila kita tengok benda-benda ni, actually it's supposed to be create an awareness, you know, what we are doing. But when looking at people, you know, ada kumpulan anti-vaccine, and then the worst part yang kita dengar baru-baru ni adalah cikgu. Almost 700 over teachers, you know, become the anti-vaccine group. If teachers macam ni, macam mana generasi yang akan datang? You see, so teachers are supposed to be, the tulang belakang of the country.
Educate people.
Educate people. If themselves are anti-vaccine group, apa akan berlaku pada budak-budak yang dia ajar untuk masa depan dia orang, yang satu hari nanti akan jadi leader, akan jadi somebody, you know. So I think this thing we have to apply some apa orang kata communism. Sorry to say that. Okay, you tak nak vaksin, it's okay.
What
Tarik belakang bangunan, tembak aje.
Saya got something to say.
I would like
Okay.
I would like-
Thank
I
you,
would like
Jalim.
to
I think
add,
that's I want to share for time being. Yeah.
Zahira.
Thank you. Zahira, go ahead. Go ahead, Zahira.
no problem. Okay, regarding this, whether the hotel has a right to impose certain rules, house rules, and also, I think we can probably take some example of what Maldives is doing currently. Because when Maldives reopened their tourism a few months ago, there was a lot of everyone from the South Asia, from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh was actually flocking into Maldives for
Okay.
quarantine before going to the Middle East. And in fact, we also organized a couple of evacuation from India to Maldives, and then before they travel to Saudi. What happened is, early on, they allow those people who with two vaccine to stay at only the main island, where the inhabited island. All right, and those people without vaccine can only check in the private island.
Right.
So that was like a rule by the government, and eventually what the hotel have done is more and more hotel have come up with rules that only if you are vaccinated with 2 doses, you can check in the hotel. So it's like a compulsory before you book, you got to prove your vaccination certificate. So I think eventually is something that is an unspoken rule. The industry just get together and just impose this. At the end of the day, it's our right, right? If a person who's anti-vax says that it's their right, then we also have our right to protect ourselves, right?
Yes, Zahira.
So
We have no
yeah.
problem with the
That is the
guests.
point, you see. The point here
Yeah.
is there is two part of it. There's the tourist that's coming in, the guests.
Ah,
But I think what
But we are
Shazwan
talking
is
about the
saying
staff.
here is our own staff.
Yeah, that's another
Ah.
issue. But I think that's also an employment right, right?
Itu
That's
Zahira.
what I
talking about
said
labor
earlier
law.
lah tadi.
Halim,
Yes.
can
Yes.
I add up?
Yep, yep.
Kalau you tengok in the MOTAC or MKN SOP, it's written that when the hotel wants to open up their business, those hotel with double dose vaccinated can be in the premises. Now you see most of the hotel are all directly involved in the hotel, the service side, housekeeping,
Yep.
front office. So if you look at the MK and this one, it stated that those hotels who are vaccinated with double dose, only they can be,
Yep.
I mean in the hotel to serve the people. Because the life of other people is involved.
Yes.
Correct.
Now kita ni bukanlah nak kejam kan. Tapi kalau kita ni, we have been vaccinated and these people are, we are working as a team, in the whole hotel with maybe kalau hotel tu besar ramai. So it's not safe and it's not fair to other people. You can be anti-vaccine, but if you read the SOP clearly, being out by the MKN, I think they have stated that, Halim.
Correct. They did. They did. This is where I said earlier tadi. The SOP from the government clearly states that
Yes.
your staff are supposed to be double dose or fully vaccinated, kan? So this is the question where a lot of hotels or some of even the international brands have actually called me, and asked me, what do I do like this and that? So I said, well, to me, as I said earlier, the SOP by the government should supersede everything.
Right.
Yes.
Therefore, all staff must be vaccinated. Now, what if the staff doesn't want to? Then comes this human right thing, right? And this is where I believe we need to be clear. Should the human resources take action to say that, well, as how
Correct.
Shazwan say, until and when you get fully vaccinated, then you can come back to work. Kalau tidak, until then you are unpaid. You know what I mean? So I think we got to first be clear. When you are unpaid, what does that mean? Does that mean that you are registered at the hotel still, but you don't get any form of benefits of the hotel, i.e. no salary, no medical, no insurance, right? Okay, so you got to be clear of that. So the staff must be clear of that as well, that they will not be able to go to the clinic and get their medical pengenani and then the company pays. There's no more such thing. You won't be covered by insurance whatsoever because you are not at work, kan? Then you got to ask yourself this question: am I covered by SOCSO if I'm unpaid? What happens if I'm moving around and there's an accident? SOCSO says if you are going from home to work and an accident happens, then it is claimable to a certain extent, subject to investigation, like kan?
Yes.
Things like that. So for that reason, Ministry of Human Resources, together with, I think on our side, it's either we use MEF or we get MAH, and associations to write in and say, look, we don't want to be caught again. Hari itu, as I brought that example, the minimum wage guideline. So we don't want to be caught in such a way that now you say, if the guy doesn't want to get vaccinated, he is on unpaid, or do we have the right to terminate, or is it an automatic apa orang kata mutual separation?
Yeah.
So if that is the scenario and it's stamped to say that this will stand in court, so all those cases yang akan dibawa ke IR court, at least the organisation and the establishment can feel confident to say, hey, look, we didn't do anything wrong, okay? We're just following the SOP. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't want to be vaccinated, so we cannot
Yeah.
have him in the premise.
Yeah.
So
I hope the
over a period of
authority agents
time,
are in the room also to listen this.
over a period of time, kita kira macam mutual separation lah kan? You know what I mean? I cannot hold that position to say, oh, a receptionist, I cannot hire a new receptionist because there's Ahmad there who's supposed to get vaccinated, but he doesn't want to get vaccinated. For how long am I supposed to wait? So
Yes.
tiba-tiba kita hire somebody else for the reception and then Ahmad gets vaccinated. What do I do now?
Correct. These are the
Tiba-tiba you
things.
got extra staff. Kan? So I think this is something, if we are talking about recovery, I had a session dengan YB Ong as well, the MP of Bangi, and he's also, as an MP, is saying that other hotels prepared in terms of insurance coverage.
Yeah, right, right.
you know,
He's talking about insurance.
So these are things which are behind the scene that needs to be addressed, whilst we've got in front, which is our customers who are booking the rooms or going to the shopping mall and all that, kan?
Yeah.
As part of the recovery lah. So the question here is, are we prepared? Have we started the ball rolling?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the roadmap lah sekarang.
Yeah.
Kita nak
And
prepare.
talking about
Thank you,
these
Halim,
rules.
clear on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talking about this rules, so that
Welcome.
Yeah, hi.
Welcome,
We have to
Uzaidi.
welcome Uzaidi. Yeah.
Uzaidi, welcome, Uzaidi.
Yeah, Uzaidi,
Big
anything
boss.
to speak? Yeah.
Ya, okay. Thank you very much, Andy. Assalamualaikum semua. Cik Halim,
Hai.
yang bagi Cik
Apa
Halim,
khabar?
Waalaikumsalam.
Cik Aziz. Happy to
thank
see
you.
all our friends, all our Sifu and Otai. Otai regular are here.
On time.
Whenever we had a very bad day, so we entered this room to see all the familiar faces, all our friends. It's so nice, so really relieving, relief, and also so he relieve you in the sense that you are with your friends. Your friends are here. You are together. We are storming all the weathers, all the problems, challenges. Thank you, Cik Halim, for spending your time, extra time here, giving out your
Pleasure is mine.
tips and points.
Yeah.
Go
And-
ahead, Andy.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead, Andy.
And talking about the
I'm-
rules, so I just raised a question on the Lembaga Belancongan of the Negeri Sembilan about the Airbnb. So some property do have it's not wholly owned by the hotel or the hotel owner. So there's joint management involved. So there's a the COB rules are not regulated for the Airbnb that they are accepting guests without vaccinated. These are the things my Diwar Hotel at the Podixons are involved in this the problem also lah. So minority of the owners say that I am the owner. Why can I say? Of course, I'm not restricted any owner to come into their own unit, but I'm talking about Airbnb. So they are rented out to the guests, but those guests are not. We are not
Vaccinated.
being have no right to restrict all these Airbnb owner that's not managed by the management. You see, these are the things that the government or whatever authorities has no clearly stated all this override or whatsoever. You see. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what's your say, Halim? Ongoing Airbnb issue lah, which
Yeah.
MAH has been fighting for ages,
Yes.
donkey years.
In fact,
So Halim, any advice?
to be honest, this Airbnb thing, last July when we still last July was 2020 July. They already actually prepared the paper untuk dibentangkan di Parlimen. Tapi our Parliament pula emergency kan. So,
Resign.
So now I think all that is still, I don't know where it is at the moment. So hopefully they can find a way to bring this up, but I can guarantee you it's not top priority lah, kan?
Yep.
So situation like this, where you've got Airbnb whereby some are under the JMB, some
Yeah,
are under
sharing the building.
direct owners,
Mm.
kan. It got it has to be in my mind lah, is a peer pressure.
Mm.
A peer pressure scenario whereby you will have to get the owners who are subletting out directly
Mm.
plus those who are under the GMB.
Yep.
A simple scenario is if there is a positive case, kan?
Mm.
The entire building has to shut down.
Yeah.
Like how they have to shut down our
Yeah.
hotel.
Who
betul
bear
tak?
the responsibility?
So the question here now is between, if you've got
Mutual understanding lah.
enough people in the GMB who are willing to follow the ruling versus those who are not, kan? And they must come to an agreement to say let's not risk it. The risk here is shut down 14 days. Satu. Number two, the cost of sanitizing the whole place. Who's going to bear that?
But I heard the
I-
authorities say if the Airbnb involve a positive case, they won't shut them down. They are not regulated, right?
Not true. It's nothing to do about whether they are selling it as Airbnb or not. We're talking as a complex by itself. You know what I mean? Complex by itself,
But it's
whereby
unfair to the hotel management lah. If this is the things that we cannot enforce, but the management
Airbnb
got
has
to.
always been unfair to hotel management anyway.
That's right.
There has never been something advantageous to the hotel when we talk about Airbnb.
Yeah.
But the question here is now, the way it can spread, and as you can see, the cases in Singapore, actually the HDBs, right? And similarly in Selangor State, there were a lot of flats that were, in fact, had to shut down. Segambut had to be locked down, kan? With barbed wires and all that. And this is the risk. Do they want to take the risk? And what's wrong with just asking the simple question as you have to be showing your double vaccination certificate? No lose, no win. In fact, it's only win. Because why? At least you don't have to sanitize your unit after that fella leaves, right? Because at the moment now, can you imagine the bad publicity that can happen for your own particular unit to say that, hey, I heard this building, there was some cases, but we don't know which one. So now you're going to rent this one unit. Are you sure it has been sanitized? Again, it has to be a public knowledge, right? Unfortunately, if you have to put it into the TripAdvisor or whatever, somebody has to do it, right? It's like people complaining about our own hotel, when they stay with us and it's such a minor thing, they go and put in the TripAdvisor, it's there for the whole, forever. But in this case, under Airbnb, if there is a known fact that this block has had cases, so maybe somebody has to take that responsibility and actually put it into the TripAdvisor. What choice do we have?
I think this is everybody's responsibilities. So I hope there's a Airbnb operators inside the room also that know this. We are not restricted to you to doing business or Airbnb, but it's talking about life, you see. So we don't want to take the risk of it. Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, Halim. My next question, Halim.
Sure.
After that, we can open up to anyone.
Yeah.
If you have any question, you can ask Tuan Halim.
We have Dylan,
we
we
don't have any
have
restriction.
others on the stage. Aniza on the stage
I
as
think
well.
a lot of
Greg wants to ask a question. Is it?
Good
Greg,
evening,
Greg.
gentlemen. Encik Halim, Tuan Aziz, Mr. Andy.
Go ahead, Greg.
Good evening, sir.
Go ahead.
I just want to talk a little bit about what happened last year. Mr. Andy, you said there was some authority people in this Clubhouse group. I basically had an incident where I had a police PDRM from Bukit Aman, a group that came to my place. I would not name names and all these things, but they had a couple of drinks and all that. And in the morning when this guy came for breakfast, SOP for the buffet was to wear gloves and all, masks while taking your food from the buffet line.
So they are spying on you.
And sorry?
Are they spying or just secretly?
No, they came in. They came in for a team building or something like this. Yes, they were
Uh,
guests. They were guests.
okay.
And one of the heads, actually, I guess he was a little bit tipsy or whatsoever. He scolded one of my staff until she made her cry because
Oh.
he didn't want to follow the SOP whereby he had to wear the mask at the buffet line taking his food.
Okay. All right.
So I was wondering if there's any hotline or anything if we do encounter things like this. I mean, we're talking about Bukit Aman police officers themselves, who are
Snap
not
the
following the
pictures.
rules.
Snap the video.
What is there a hotline we could call to if we could not
Viral
handle this
it.
kind of situation, especially
There
you're talking about authority figures themselves.
There are.
You
There
just
are.
viral it. People will take notes on it.
That's right.
There is a hotline that you can complain, which is going directly to MKN. Yeah, I don't know what it is right now, but I know there is one that you put. It's like a hotline, okay, where you are able to put in a complaint to say that this is the scenario, this is what happened. That's number one, yeah.
Okay.
Number two, the wearing of masks, social distancing, and sanitizing your hand and all that has been an SOP since this
Basic,
whole
yeah.
thing started,
Yeah.
right? And it is applied to everybody. Yeah, has always been the MKN's SOP or KKM's SOP to say you are to have at minimum these three: social distancing, wearing a mask, and sanitizing your hands, right? And of course, temperature, right? This is a must, yeah. So if a person, I will not say this fellow police or a guest, let's say a guest who has come to your property, right? And this person has become a public nuisance. Technically, he's a public nuisance, right?
Yep.
Not to mention abusing your staff is another thing, lah.
That's right.
Okay, so there are two issues here that you are able to raise. One is the abuse on the staff, which is a separate matter, and the non-compliance of following the SOP.
Correct.
Okay, right.
I
So
would,
under
if we
any
would.
circumstances, under any circumstances, both of these are wrongdoing.
Right.
Okay?
True.
Yeah. So any act of wrongdoing on premise, the Innkeepers Act comes into play. All right. You have the authority to refuse service. You have the authority to evict the person, right? Under your own care first, and failing which, if it becomes abusive, etc., you get the police involved.
I,
Our right. That is our right.
Roger.
Operators.
In Halim, normally I would ask the guests to check out themselves myself. If they were not to follow the rules, and coming 1st September we're going to open up again. And if this kind of case happens again, I think I learned my lesson whereby I would ask the guests to check out. But here I'm dealing with PDRM from Bukit Aman, so it's a bit of a.
If he's the Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Greg, I think nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. In future, you got problem, you call Abang Yazid. He will come. Anything in the club, I always call Abang Yazid.
Yeah.
Roger.
Call Ma for help.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have to realize one thing. We are doing a business, and anybody who comes in and creates nuisance, right? You have the public nuisance law to cover you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Innkeeper laws. Yeah.
Provided you do not take any physical action against that person, right? You are safeguard. Because once you do any physical upon that guy can take action against you pula. You know what I mean?
Roger.
Greg,
Yes, sir.
I've come across cases like you, foreign guests or local guests. Even the foreign guests, we had guests from Italy who was harassing our staff, and same case the staff guy. We evicted him out of our resort. You know, we asked him to get out of the hotel. It's our right. Even like just now Halim says, even his the better it is if he's a police officer.
Yep.
If I were to be you, definitely I'll put him in the behind bar, man, 100%. I've come across a lot of these cases, but a lot of hotels they do not know the right. You have the right to chase them out. It doesn't matter, Greg. They are from the police. The better it is, because they are the
More
professionals.
embarrassing. More embarrassing
They
for them.
are they are enforcing the law.
Ijaz is kena
I
refund tak kalau ask them
No,
to check out? Do you
no,
have to refund them?
no, no, not at
No,
all.
kalau dia dah
not
tinggal,
necessary.
ada juga. Dia dah tinggal, dah
You
makan,
charge.
minta refund.
Yeah.
Roger,
No.
Roger.
I have advice for you, Greg. So
Yes, sir.
my experience, before you raise your voice or just fight argue with them, because just tell them, inform them, there's a CCTV footage being taken off, or mention their names loudly, mention their position loudly, so that you can record everything, or you can video recording instantly.
Nowadays is use your
Before
mobile
you
lah.
raise your
Yeah.
voice,
If
this
I
is the
can
things.
share two
Yeah.
incident, Andy.
Yeah,
You know, being the operator side, I'll just share two incident in 2019, just before the pandemic. One incident was in MO. We had a incentive group coming in for 400 people. During the check-in, one guy on the way to his room, he actually touched the housekeeping inappropriately. Just
Oh.
not really touch,
Oh.
just like, you know, like slam it from at the back.
Accidentally.
So-called. And you know, MO management highlighted to us immediately.
Yeah.
And we inform the management company, the organizer, and he was sent back on the very next flight.
That should be
All
done.
right, yeah.
Yep.
And this was quite a small incident. On another incident, we actually had a gala dinner in KL Tower. So there was a group of people, the men, they were actually taking picture with the hostess in KL Tower. And he again touched the hostess inappropriately while taking the picture. He just put the hand at the shoulder. And the hostess, she shouted, she actually made a police report. The guy who actually from a pharma company was being caught by a police. The police came, catch him, put him in a lockup. I had to send people from my office for 5 days to the lockup to, you know, check how and everything, give him food, assist him, and he was charged in the court.
Yeah.
Zahira, it's called sexual harassment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Sexual
so
harassment.
like what, you know, like what everyone is saying, that I think you guys have the right.
Yes,
There is a law. No one is above the law.
Even
But
if
anyhow,
you say obscene words, it's sexual harassment now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is a very big, you know.
If you go to PCMC, Prince Court Medical Center, at each counter in PCMC, it says that, you know, I can't really recall the exact word, but it's something that if you are rude to them, they have a right to remove you from the premise. Not even touching them, just that you shout or scream, they have the right to remove you.
Yes, and
Yeah,
this is this is something that in Europe, in US, in Australia, if you are in a hotel and you behave inappropriately or you are rude and you're shouting and all that, they can actually say, there's no place for you here.
Yeah.
But for us, unfortunately, you're being so hospitable. Kadang-kadang we
Too hospitable.
Correct.
Too hospitable.
So
Malaysian, we are like that, yeah.
we fail to realize that we are not protecting our staff.
Yep.
And if we can't protect our staff, who can protect our staff?
Correct.
Okay.
So I think we need to take appropriate action
Yeah.
for situations like this. And kadang-kadang kita pula, talking about alcohol, Greg, I mean tadi Haziz pun kata, put him behind the bar, but make sure the correct bar lah, the jail.
Yeah. Correct, Pak.
Good one.
Lagi dia seronok kan.
Dia ada 2 bar lah, dua-dua masuk.
You see, under the international law, and it applies to Malaysia, there is a level of alcohol that we can serve to our customers. Yeah. In the US, in Australia, if we serve over the level and we know that person is already getting high and drunk, and if that person is, we actually see that person going to be driving his car home, kan? If something happens to that customer of ours, if he meets an accident, right? The hotel can be sued,
Yeah.
because we failed to stop serving that person when we knew he had more than what he's supposed to have.
Yeah.
Tapi kat sini mana ada lagi kita duk upsell.
Lagi
You
upsell.
know? So we got to realize this because we until something bad happen, we don't care.
Yeah.
But we have the responsibility as well to serve to that maximum of 2.5 glasses per person before the blood alcohol starts going haywire.
Yeah.
And a lot of our bars, a lot of our restaurant, especially our lounge, music lounge ke apa ke, mana ikut semua tu, betul tak? Lantak lah you want to drink 5 bottles, go ahead lah, after that it's your own
Upsell,
problem.
lagi upsell.
So again, when we talk about responsibility of the people and our hotel staff, we need to be clear. Is it wrong if there is a group of people drinking that you actually approach the table, hopefully the sober one, to say that I hope somebody is in charge of the driving today.
Yeah.
We are happy you're having a good time. We are glad to be serving you. I am happy you're enjoying the band or whatever. But I do hope you also have your own arrangements how you want to get back lah.
Yes.
Kalau dia kata tak ada, that's where you upsell. We have vacant rooms.
Yeah.
Since you bought 2 bottles now, we can give the room for free, isn't it? Better safe than sorry, kan? But look at it from the marketing standpoint. Can you imagine this group of people actually say, hey, I go to this Dwarf Hotel baguslah dia, kita beli 2 botol, dia bagi 1 bilik for us to stay lah, just for us to be safe.
Okay, I have a question. Macam Cik Hazli said, I always have a cepu emas punya question. Okay, looking at the current scenario of the pandemic and then looking at the SOP and all the yo-yos in Malaysia and also the Airbnb.
You're not talking about the government, right? The yo-yo.
No. Airbnb. No. We don't speak about government here.
Yeah. Yo.
Yeah, I'm talking about policies, SOPs and all that, and you have been in the industry for very, very long. You're a veteran, you do yield management and all that. With the Airbnb issue and other issues surrounding us, how lucrative do you still think the hotel business in Malaysia? Because if I see 15 to 18 years ago, the kind of the rates that we were selling and the kind of the rates that we are selling now, I think we are selling way cheaper than before. With the operational costs are increasing, we agents are not able to make money, our yield is also dropping. So the scenario in Malaysia, I personally think is not as lucrative as probably even 10 years ago. So why should a hotel, I know Hilton is opening so many new hotels and even Marriott, but how lucrative do you think for a long term in Malaysia? And do you think that the ROI is worth the kind of the effort that we are putting in now?
Good question.
Okay, let's touch on the international brand first lah. Yeah. Okay, it's a crazy race out there at the moment of who's going to have the largest room count, who's going to be the largest number of hotels, who's going to be the largest. That's a crazy race out there between the Marriotts, between the Wyndham, between the Accor and all that. Yeah, there are also international brands actually saying, hey, I waive 1 year punya fees. I'll come and manage your hotel. I'll waive 1 year of fees, and then you only start charging me from 2nd year onwards, sort of thing. There are a lot of bargains out there at the moment. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, it's not the fault of the hotel operators or the brands. It's unfortunately the developers. Okay. Number 1. Number 2, a lot of feasibility studies were done easily 6 to 10 years ago. Those were the days when it was lucrative in the sense that there was demand. Yeah. But unfortunately now the real world is, even after, let's say, we reopen and everything comes back to almost normal, the demand and supply is completely imbalanced. There are more supplies than demand. Number 1, talk about Malaysia, then you talk about the region, then you talk about slightly further away, and then you talk about the entire world. Yeah. Then our favorite Andy will say there is some more Airbnb lagi.
Yep.
Right. So
that's the biggest pain.
In the price war itself.
Correct. So my only answer to this, and when I do yield or revenue management, I always bring up these 2 things. 1, what is your unique selling proposition as a property? Number two is, what is the perceived value by the customers about your property? Thirdly, perhaps on a add-on to, it's what is the perceived value of your employees about your hotel? Are they just there to work, or do they believe in the hotel and the brand, be it international, be it local? Yeah. So the question here is, what is the perceived value? And when you have understood the perceived value of what you are offering, and that's when you put your pricing. Don't go into a price war in such a way that, oh, my neighbor put, 200 ringgit, I got to hover around there. Tapi your product, your service, your integrity of the brand is much better than your neighbor. So the question here is the market large enough? Right? And what is the market looking for? Or am I going for the wrong market? Am I going after the same market as my neighbor is going? Should I look for somebody who's willing to pay 50 ringgit more and stay at my place because these are my offerings?
Yep.
Many a times when we do pricing, we are only doing pricing based on location. You tanyalah your director of sales and marketing, can you do me a SWOT analysis, please? They will come with the same thing which they have been cut and paste for the last 10 years.
Agreed.
Right?
No, them.
So you need to be real and say, here I have a 3-star hotel. My neighbor is a 4-star hotel. Your first complaint will be, they are infringing into your pricing. Right? 4-star masuk 3-star punya rates. Yeah? So, that actually should be used appropriately for your marketing to say, hey, you know what? My pricing wise, 200. Therefore, I'm in the 4-star category actually. And then you look at your product. What are you offering? I did a recent training just last week, to about 20 general managers. And I said, why can't you may be a 3-star, but can't you give a 4-star service? I said, what do you mean by 4-star service? Can you tell me the simplest of things, what you can improve in terms of a guest arrival? All right? And didn't get much response from them. So I said, at the moment now, as 3-star hotel, your first thing you say to yourself in terms of manning is, tak payah doorman lah.
Correct.
Kita 3-star mah, no need doorman. But you still need a security in front there, because he has to control the driveway and traffic, betul tak? So why don't you tell that guy, hey Ahmad, I'm going to give you 50 ringgit more. I want you to do double job. Satu, security. Nombor dua, bila guest arrive tu, tolonglah ambil luggage, buka pintu semua ni, and give the standard greeting. Automatically, you are already providing a 4-star service, because you now suddenly have a doorman, which normally 3 stars don't have. As an example. So that straight away gives a perceived value of your property to a customer who's driving up to a 3-star hotel. His expectation was never there. His expectation was, okay lah, I'm going to stay in a 3-star hotel because, but tiba-tiba dia sampai, wow, I didn't expect to get such a service as I arrived. And then follow through lah, right up to the reception, right up to the entire whole experience of the guest, kan? So to me, I believe, coming back to the entire deal of running a hotel is the perceived value of your property.
The DOS gotta listen this.
Yeah. Okay. In continuity to that, or are we losing it as a destination? I'll give you one example.
Okay.
Okay.
I love this one.
Okay. In 2019, weekly flight from India, in a weekly flight, we have almost 230 flights weekly from India. All point, all city, direct flight. Okay. Tourism Malaysia figure, or immigration figure, total tourists to Malaysia is almost 700,000 from all over India.
Correct.
Okay. Bali has only one flight daily from India, which means probably maximum they have 10 flights weekly. Okay. Bali alone as the destination clocked in 680,000 passengers from India.
Okay.
And where these people are flying in from, they are just transiting in Kuala Lumpur without checking in a night in KL. Probably we have that the amount of seats that we have. What they do is they transit in KL, upward Bali. Maximum, maybe you have 10-20% who will stay in KL. Or Singapore is becoming a destination. When you talk about 6 years ago, Singapore was not interested in Middle Eastern travelers. Singapore was not interested in China tourists. They were not interested in South Asia tourists. They were not interested in all this volume-based tourism, which actually gives you the base market. But over the years, we are losing to Singapore. Singapore did 2 million. 1.8 million passengers, if I'm not mistaken. So the kind of market that we are losing, are we losing? So if we have good value hotels, our hotels are reasonably priced, we have infrastructure, but in your perception or in your opinion, where we have lost, that we are losing the numbers and we are losing the yield at the same time.
Correct.
So what's your take on this matter? We are becoming a transit destination. The amount of flights that we have from I'll say that 6 hours flight duration within the region. I think Malaysia have probably the most after Singapore. But Singapore is taking more. Bali, who doesn't have that much of direct flight, is taking more. Forget about Thailand. Thailand is way our league. They are way beyond our league. So
Simple answer. Number one, yes, we have lost our stand in terms of a destination. Okay, don't talk about India, talk about Europe, talk about Scandinavia. They're all gone. UK, they're all gone. Right? Number two, let's ask ourselves, what is new in Malaysia?
Agree.
If you talk about Singapore, okay, out of that 2 million that they got, okay, 50% are for MICE business.
Yeah.
Yes, and cruise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Secondly, there is no judgment when you are in Singapore. Nobody looks at you differently. Nobody looks at you and say, yeah, you are cheap market. We have a problem by actually saying that the Indian market are cheap market. Okay? They are not. They are all companies which are, how many Indians are running the major global companies in the world now?
They have the most unicorn in the world currently.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Silicon IT, yeah.
Right? So we have to be very careful about what we say in the marketplace. Yeah. It also starts from our own staff in the hotels actually. When suddenly there's a lot of Indian market, there's Chinese market,
They
and
don't like
our
it.
first person to make a lot of noise is our bellman. Mana ada tips? This one dia ambil bag sendiri, bag kecil.
Agree. Oh my God.
Agree. The perception of the staff.
There you go. Thank you, Andy. The perceived value of the guest and all that is gone. Right? No doubt. But hey, they are filling up your rooms. There's no such thing as low yield and all that. As long as you cover your operation costs, that's income. You know what I mean? Okay, you sell $1 more of that, that's $1 profit. Kan? So coming to this thing about destination, and Aziz and I know lah, we walked the street those days in the early 2000s, late 90s, you know.
Right.
We walked the street with brochures to Scandinavia, city after city, non-stop.
During winter.
In the winter, yes. Thank you very much for reminding me. You know,
Bulan puasa.
combined
Old
Aziz
days,
and
yeah.
I, in a year we travel about 6 months. In a year we travel the world, right? To try and bring in the business, and business was coming in because there was people reaching out to the market and say, hey, Malaysia as a destination, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. You know, and tourism Malaysia, of course, was much stronger those days as well. Right? So about your flights, that 200 flights from India. Let's look at the load of the people coming in. Sorry, not to sound discriminating or whatever. 50% are actually labor.
Yeah, I agree with that labor traffic, but we are becoming that transit point to other destination. That is worrying actually.
Because there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, that's very worrying.
There's really nothing to do. You know, I go to Singapore, I don't have to take a 45 minute, 1 hour bus ride up to Genting to go to casino. In Singapore, I can walk in anytime and I can stay there the whole night for that matter. And I don't have to check in KL one night and then I have to check out, go up to the mountain, stay there one night, next day check out again. You're spending most of the time on transit.
Yeah, the logistic
Why do I want to do
timing.
that? And then if I go to Bali, right? I mean Bali. Bali itself is an island. Bali itself, in every corner that you go, there are beaches. There is volcano. If I go up to Ubud, right? But in Malaysia, if I want to come to the beach, I have to still land in Kuala Lumpur. Then I have to take the closest is to Port Dickson, right? And then next one is Malacca before I can reach. If I go up north Penang, if I want to go to Langkawi, I got to take another flight. So even the airlines, when they market Malaysia versus Bali, it's so much easier to market Bali, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think something is wrong with our promotion and the way we actually promote
Yeah,
our
I agree,
country.
Zahira.
I think
We need to
our
do
our
improvement on
tagline
this.
and our promotion is way too lapuk.
Yeah,
You are,
I agree with you,
know,
Zahira.
the way you sound is like you are definitely of the younger generation. But Haziz and I have been talking about this until kita dah botak dah ni, And
Halim,
Haziz
we
and I
used
has
to
this
bring in,
experience.
we used
Yeah,
to bring in even we can sell to Scandinavian countries to Malaysia.
absolutely.
Finland
We,
tau berapa, imagine they are coming to
Malaysia,
Taman Negara.
Malaysia was hotter for the Scandinavians to come
Oh,
here than to Thailand. Thailand, the Scandinavians will only go to Phuket and Koh Samui je, dua ni je. But they used to come to Malaysia because they love the Taman Negaras, they love the islands, etc., etc. But you got to realize one thing also, yeah. The millennial travelers versus our time was a lot of silver hair. There is a difference in your market approaches, market combination now.
Yes.
So the combination for the ones that we are tackling now is the millennials who are looking at partying and surfing and all that, whilst we pula at one point was targeting the silver hair where people will stay here longer, which is actually not a bad thing, and they just want to relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah, different
So there's a
trend.
difference also in the current market thinking and what they want to do.
But anyway,
But
to improve, so Malaysia compete with the G2G.
we have to open back our offices overseas.
Ah,
Number two, we have to be visible. Number three, our accessibility, which is our own airlines. You cannot depend on Emirates and you cannot depend on Qatar Air. Malaysia Airlines has to do their part to actually promote Malaysia as a destination. Because those days, don't forget, those days, this is what Malaysia Airlines did. You buy a ticket from London to Kuala Lumpur, you get a free stopover ticket to Penang or to Langkawi.
Yeah.
Okay?
right.
So now, you know what Qatar and Emirates is doing? Yes, they so got a stopover, but to Bali, to Phuket.
Yes. Malindo actually did this in 2019 for Langkawi.
Yeah.
I think
can
we have to
guarantee
start.
it worked. But we have to come back to all this. But how do we tell Qatar Air and how do we tell Emirates, who are the key feeders into the country now? Because Malaysia Airlines is not flying very much anymore, right? To come up with such a program when they will only look at lucrative and high yielding destinations too.
I have something to say, Halim, on this.
Sure,
I
Sabah.
think like what Motek is predicting that the border will be fully open in 2022 or 2023. Another 1 or 2 years time, more bags will be going out than more bags coming in, I think.
Yes, as we're talking about this
You
topic
know,
also,
because
we need to start
the
planning
domestic
already.
traveller yang kita cakap tadi tu, I think they also waiting to travel keluar. So I think more bags will be going out than coming in. I think the any apa particular authority can take the statistic, duduk dekat airport tengok berapa banyak beg yang keluar tu daripada beg yang masuk ke Malaysia.
That's
No
why
need to ask
we
that
want to
first
voice
one.
out to
Ask
the
yourself.
MOTEC. We want to voice out to MOTEC.
Last 2 years I also lost in my Korean market, the golfing market, silver hair. You see, we used to record about 5,500 nights a year from this Korean market. So year 2020, year 2021 ni, we lost that because of the pandemic. You see, the golfing sector.
But don't
So
forget,
I think
the Koreans now, their second home is Vietnam for golfing.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not only reason why they're not coming here, because pergi Vietnam dia ada female caddy.
Correct.
For one. Number two, there is enough the golfing fraternity of Vietnam has gone and they've done such a huge marketing in Korea.
True. My last session with the tourism recovery, I told the golfing market now, the ambassador is not the marketing people or whoever, is the caddy is the ambassador now. That is the selling point of a golf club in Indonesia, Vietnam and Thailand and all that.
So you take now, kita nak buat Malaysia as a golfing destination. Let's say
Yep.
they are so dependent on the travel agent to do the sales for them and the marketing for them.
Correct.
They themselves as a golf facility, golf fraternity, have not got together and say, hey guys, macam hotel lah, hotel get together, let's go down do sales trip and all that kan. Kita punya golf club mana ada buat?
Tak ada, they stand alone.
They stand alone because they got enough money from the subscriptions from members.
Exactly.
Unlike in Indonesia, Thailand and all that, dia banyak public golf courses.
Correct.
You see, so that's the difference again. You know.
Yeah.
So even if you take this golfing as a business for tourism, kita punya golfing ni tak exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Number one. Number two, to be honest, and sorry for all the travel agents and tour operators out there, they are not familiar of the way golfers are thinking when they travel as a group.
Correct.
Okay? Kita kalau pergi Indonesia, there's this one, Pak Steven lah. Okay? Let's talk about Pak Steven, leisure travel. Okay? You cakap je, I'm bringing in 30 people, I want to play in the Bogor area, then 3 days of golf, malam kita nak ni, macam ni. Papa, beres pak, settle. Okay, quotation on the way.
Yep.
All you have to do is pack your bags, get visa from your wife, put your luggage and everything in the thing, and then boom.
Yes,
You know?
true. Dia macam ni Cik Halim just celah sikit ya. The main reason why we are not getting golfers from outside Malaysia to come in and play, the first point is that the service yang dia dapat dekat sana tak ada kat kita. Maknanya macam tadi Pak Steven ni, the minute you land at the airport, your hand is already free.
You tak payah buat apa dah.
Tak payah buat apa dah. Daripada angkat bag sampai ke club golf you main, and then back to the hotel, then after that your bag is already at the airport, and then you are ready to come back. Tak ada apa-apa. In fact, some golf club in golf courses in Indonesia, Thailand and Vietnam and all that, they even clean your shoes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they clean. Masa pergi kasut tu kotor dengan tanah dengan all that, balik rumah buka tengok dah polish, dah baru dah.
So this topic
you see, so these are the things that kita tak provide.
Correct. Because why? The golf clubs themselves don't need the business because they got membership.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So again, we talk about medical tourism,
Yep.
Let's talk about medical tourism.
Yep.
If you were to go and do medical tourism in Thailand, kosmetik lah katakan again, you arrange everything, you with the hospital, medical facility, Your accommodation has been settled because they already got partnership dengan hotel. You choose saja which hotel you want to be in. Okay? The minute you arrive and the package is maybe 50,000 lah katakan, which includes everything, ticket, flying, accommodation, transportation, and the operation and the rehab. Yeah, you bayar tu aja. All you have to do is arrive, and everything is taken care of. Dekat sini, for your travel agents, those who are out there who is doing the medical tourism, macam nak bertekak dengan hospital to try and get everything done correctly.
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is the difference.
So datang sakit, balik pun sakit.
Lagi sakit.
Okay, good.
Tapi hidung
We have
cantik, tapi
anyone
cantik.
to have a questions? Niza Ismail or Dylan? You have any question?
Yes.
Yeah. Niza,
here.
go ahead.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum Cik Lim.
Salam.
Cik Aziz and Andy, thank you. Just a very simple one. Sebab I duduk diam dengan most of my question have been answered. So I tak tanya soal dengar. So a lot of question okay dah answer. Okay. Just nak clear sikit. The most pressing sekarang for all the hotel yang nak buka sekarang is like Zahira cakap lah, yo-yo, the SOP.
Yeah.
Sekejap macam ni, sekejap kena ada 2 dos untuk sakit tangan, sekejap first dose saja boleh tu. So last yang dia orang tahu sebenarnya, you must have 2 dos saja pergi je boleh bekerja. Sekarang dah kata dapat 1 dos dah boleh. So agaknya bila dia clear guideline, you foresee that the hotel can get. So because why? End of the day, we tak nak the hotel here or get penalized by the authority.
Betul.
Dia orang datang.
Betul.
It's always famous that kalau authority ni, hotel always the target. Sorry to say lah.
Yeah.
Walau apa-apa rules dari dulu pun, hotel always the target.
Betul.
Kedai mamak pun I tengok tadi, I just perhati saja pun, dia masuk duduk no one bother to check dah ada 2 dos ke dia tak 2 dos. It's in front of my house, saya tengok aje. So when you rasa lah Cik Halim rasanya, so the hotel senang rasa-rasa. Semua jadi confused.
By hook or by crook, it has to come out at least by the 3rd week of September.
Wow, so that mean kita dah operation lah. Mana hotel yang operation in September tu lah.
So
because why?
Nanti boleh refund back.
They are targeting October to be, everybody supposed to be in fasa 4 lah, kan? Getting to fasa 4 by October. So at the moment now, what we have is what we shall continue to do. Once again, it's the responsibility of the public and also the responsibility of the organisation to make sure that you take the most beneficial SOPs to be applied for the safety of your employees and the safety of the guests. Yeah.
Okay, Roger.
As I said, that four main one or 5 main one, screening of temperature, semua tu doesn't go away. Even after October, I guarantee you those will still be applied.
Correct.
The only addition would be is the double dose. Yeah.
The new normal lah.
And as the government has clearly stated many times, again, that was the last Prime Minister, I don't know what's the next one going to happen, is that come October, everybody should be towards fasa 4. Yeah. And I think that's when everything becomes clearer, whereby the SOPs will become your norm. And I think that has been set. Macam factory sekarang pun, earlier was a lot of kalang kabut factory, kan? But slowly now you can see that factories are all 80% or already achieved herd immunity and all that. Even the authorities have stopped going and checking them too often. Dulu ni setiap hari PDRM, rela dan semua ni, for factories, kan? So I would say, in terms of timeline, I would say by about 3rd week September, if they don't come up with something, the associations need to push for it at the end of the day, because it needs to be in our recovery punya planning juga, kan?
Ya, betul.
So that would be what my I gather would be the timing.
Then secondly, I rasa the human resource kena betul-betul tengok on this those lah.
Yes,
Macam yang
absolutely.
discuss pada awal tu.
Yeah,
Clear line. Kita tak nak jadi macam minimum wages. Minimum wages kena balik kat kita balik.
Betul.
So yang
That one
first
has
dose
to
boleh
be
kerja, anti-vaccine tu semua. Like the army ada seorang yang jadi isu sekarang. The one that have been terminated due to anti-vaccine. Itu. Hopefully lah.
I mean, you look. Yeah, Aziz. Sorry, who's that? Sorry.
Okay, I think you have answered to Niza. I got one very important ini question lah. Ini to be shared. Yeah. Okay, I think the important thing now, everybody is talking about recovery plan. So I think as you and I know, so that we could share. Especially now, I think everyone is going into third phase or fourth phase by October. So what is especially for MAH? MAH is we have members about 1,100, consisting from 3 to 5-star hotel with so many international branding lah. So in order to stimulate business and to create a spillover, because a lot of other industry also are relying on hotel, Halim, to
supply chain lah.
Supply chain. Banyak orang tak nampak, but actually a lot indirect. So the important thing now which we are working out, if you can share the basically lah, it's in the pipeline now. We're going to lead on this, especially to the government. The MAH tourism recovery plan, more or less lah Halim, kalau boleh share what we plan to do so that other industry also boleh jugalah
Can follow suit lah.
We will be giving the input to crack our head so that hopefully that at least, because at the moment ni sorry to say that I think the government ni tak ada solid tourism recovery plan lah.
As YB Om says lah, help them.
Masing-masing buat masing-masing. And
Agree.
Om cakap kan,
yes,
we need to help the government. If we have a very good recovery plan, at least orang ni tak susah nak kena fikir, nak kena tulis satu itu, nak tanya sini, nak tanya situ. So we can assist them. That is what YB Om cakap. We must assist them. So what we have in the MAH punya inilah recovery plan.
Basically, after bringing this point up earlier part of this year, and I mentioned this that we need.
You brought up the idea actually, Halim.
Yes, I did. Because I asked, our biggest problem is, are we prepared? We can make a lot of noise lah, our government tak tolong ni, government tak tolong tu. But we know where the position of the government is. We know where our financial situations are, kan? So we got to live strongly with that kita jaga kita at the end of the day, and we have to prepare ourselves. And finally, we had the formation of a committee among the board members in MAH, and we are also willing to rope in people from outside to join in. So basically, the purpose here is to prepare a strategy, a plan to help with this recovery, and then together working with partners. We call them partners, which includes Tourism Malaysia, which include maybe a platform, one booking engine platform operator.
We must work together, like Zahira,
and form an alliance. Like any marketing plan that we want to do, you've got to know who your target market are, which is for us now is the domestic market, kan? Which also includes MICE plus tourists, leisure travelers, and then we got to work with the tools that we can find, then the partners that we can find. So after our first meeting last week, we did that. So we are coming up with our next meeting pretty soon to discuss what was being brainstormed hari itu, and do a proper paper and sell it to the alliances and partners. This includes the travel agent, These include tour operators, platform providers, Tourism Malaysia for that matter, the
Digitally,
digital
yeah.
platform, the old school platforms, whatever that we have. And we have to make sure that there is one common goal.
Yes.
We spoke about Cuti-Cuti Malaysia being a synonym to the country. You talk about that, everybody knows about that, kan? Why go and create something else and then confuse the market again? And orang muda, orang tua, semua ni different thing. So we target to say that not only talking about Cuti-Cuti Malaysia, but Cuti-Cuti Rasa Malaysia,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
example.
yeah,
Because Malaysians love to eat,
yeah.
kan?
Yeah, food tourism.
I even suggested previously, I think Aziz, you may remember this, that when we do this Citra Rasa, right?
Citra Rasa.
And Citra Rasa, and we do simultaneously in the MAH hotels. That means the northern, the southern, the eastern, and the East Malaysia together. 4 different destination, and then you swap pula the next 2 months
Yes.
later, you swap pula.
Food
Not
festival.
that macam Negeri Sembilan, you are very, very, very strong and powerful in this area of working together with the state government to come up with
Thank you.
food thing, right? Well done. No, and this is what I told Aziz in what last year punya AGM Aziz dekat Negeri Sembilan. We spoke about this.
Yeah, Diwaf.
At the Diwaf tu, and that's why I said, why are we just promoting one state in one place? Why can't MAH as a group, as chapter chairmen, get together and say, okay, bulan 3, 4 different chapters buat at the same time, and you do a swap. Penang come to Negeri Sembilan go to Penang, etc. And then the next 2 months later, another 4 buat juga, kan? And that way, the hotels gets the business. There is synergy among the chapters
And
of
invite all the
MAH.
tourist agent.
And get everybody involved. The travel agent, the cultural shows, the musician. Nowadays, the musician needs help. The whole works. Rope it in. Seremban or Negeri Sembilan is going to have Pesta Penang, for example. Penang will have Pesta Negeri Sembilan, whatever, together.
Yep.
The problem with Malaysia, and this might be my own personal opinion, we are very disjointed.
No, we cannot learn region now.
So disjointed.
Agree.
Hotel, travel agent, tour operator,
No worry,
tour operator.
we have Mita now with Uzaidi.
He knows lah. I've always been telling him we should come together,
Yeah, we have to
Now we are
cooperate. We have to cooperate.
Come together and make it a big wow factor.
Yeah. That's why we are creating all these sessions to talk all this, share all these ideas.
Halim,
Absolutely.
jangan lupa the jingle. Macam Tourism Malaysia juga.
Yeah. Come up with a team, a song, work with partners.
Yeah, the time is chasing us. Don't worry. We just touching on this tourism. I have one, maybe this is the last question, or somebody have any question to ask. Please raise your hand. Okay, my question is human capital development. We are facing all this problem, and from this youngster not interested in the hotel line anymore, because it's not like old days. Hotelier is a glamour job. So any advice from you that we should plan on this, because we are losing all these talents, younger talents. All the silver head we are no longer, sooner or later.
Andy, when we talk about the next generation of hoteliers, Andy,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say this, some people may disagree with me, but this is again
Personal
my
opinion, no worry.
This is my opinion. It was our fault.
It's our fault.
We failed to reach out to the young generation to tell them that the hotel industry is a good industry.
Yep.
We failed to do that.
No worry, we still have time. There's academy.
We take our internship program like extra labor, cheap labor.
This is a perception of the employer as well, yeah.
Because I have been an intern before. and
Okay.
I know how it feels like when we are treated like that. I'm sure many
Yep.
of you may have been in that same shoes. Polish pink, polish gelas, potong ubi, potong onion, that
Ambil
sort of
stage
thing.
platform.
And
Banqueting
unfortunately,
all.
unfortunately, those we should use those graduates from universities that came out
Uh,
and let them speak to the younger
empowerment.
generations.
Mm.
No, speak to them
Mm.
rather than inviting the GM to go and speak.
Correct.
When university calls for people to come and do open day or whatever,
Mm.
GM can take 20% of the stage.
Mm.
80% should be somebody who graduated from a hotel school and who's probably now a chef de partie or something, or even better
Yep.
than that.
Mm.
Come out and give them that talk.
Correct.
I used to do tours. I used to do
Mm.
tours for hotel schools.
Mm.
Help university, tailors, Sunway.
Mm.
I bring them to the hotel.
Mm.
30, 40 students together with their professor or their lecturer.
Mm.
And I give them a tour of the hotel and I show them the worst places. I show them the receiving bay. I
Yep.
show them, I show them the stewarding area and all that. I
Mm.
said, this is what you're getting yourself into. But this is just a stepping stone,
Mm.
because
Yep.
your goal to take hotel management is to be a manager one day, to be a GM one day.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there is,
Yep.
the person who's talking to them now are the lecturers, and the lecturers have not been in the industry for God knows how long, or never been in the industry because they're academics.
Mm.
So where is the interest? Who is
Yes.
telling the younger generation to say, hey, hotel is a nice place lah.
Yes.
There is
We
future
should
here.
we should develop
Yeah,
this.
they must create an awareness for these people that
Yes.
working in the hotel, they have a bright
There's a
future.
fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Correct.
agree.
You know, they must, in the first place, we must create an awareness that waitering job is a career.
It's an art
It
and a
starts
career.
from there. Yeah, it's an art and a career. It should start from there.
Yep.
Then it goes like for example, most of the GMs, most of the managers in the hotel,
Yep.
yeah,
Get
they
involved.
start from waiter. They from waiter they go up to the captain, then they go as a supervisor.
But
Then they come
what
out
does the
like
school, what does
yeah,
the school tell them? Oh, you come out, you become manager.
yeah,
Yeah, I
And then when
think
they
Yeah.
come out, they don't become manager.
Zahira
Then
or
they,
something.
yeah,
yes,
Encik Halim, I think something that MAH should probably get involved, because I was in 2 sessions with MPC Malaysia Productivity Corporation regarding syllabus di peringkat KBK, all this polytechnic, and also their syllabus is so backdated. They have not changed the syllabus for God knows 30 years. Jadi the
Betul,
expectation,
betul.
the expectation of a student when they come to the industry, it is so different than what they are being taught. Like from our side of as a tour operators and all that, they don't even know how to read hotel contract. For them, kita kena buat package. Like, how do you do package if you do not know how to read the source contract? You do not know what is the cancellation policy. You do not know what is the payment policy.
That's a
You don't
problem.
understand the whole base. What you know is, kita ambil package,
Old
kita
school
jual lah
one.
dekat Facebook.
Old
The
school one.
they do quotation for you.
exactly.
and this is where my role, Zahira, this is where my role with UNITA is to review their own punya
Get them
degree,
in.
diploma and masters.
Exactly, I think it's the high time
True.
already.
What is the syllabus? What are they missing out?
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, digitalization. The
Yeah,
marketing
more
is
on
totally
digital.
different, kan?
Yeah.
So all those things has to be changed in accordance to the current timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So I
That's right.
think this probably goes back to just now when Encik Shazwan and yourself highlighted about we Malaysia, we are losing out in terms of creating or curating product according to the needs of the customer.
Exactly.
And then we are dependent dengan old time players. I think if you call every travel agent dekat Malaysia ni, it is all run by someone who's probably 50 and above.
Silver hair.
Zaidi, jangan marah Zaidi.
Right.
Zaidi.
So So the young,
I muda lagi.
so
Yeah,
the
I
young,
am
But they
muda
still
lagi.
need me.
Millennial. I'm a millennial
No,
group.
you're absolutely right. Because we got to look at the current
Old
trend, the
school
current
time, old school time.
business,
exactly. But
and
when you,
what are the
so,
demands and what are the needs of those customers.
Yeah.
You won't believe it. Yeah, I can guarantee you there are still some hotels which charge for whiteboards and charge for projection and
oh
all that.
yes,
Yeah, I mean those days nowadays that if you do that, you go to the bottom of the pile,
Yes.
yeah,
right?
Charge
So
for
everything
Wi-Fi,
should be already there, and then you just charge, and it's I mean after all it's a one-time capex.
true.
Kan? After that you just amortize the whole thing across lah.
Yeah,
Kan
hidden
you
cost,
know.
hidden cost.
Kita punya industry is very zaman dinosaur. That's what my perception
Yeah,
is.
dinosaur. Memang dinosaur.
Careful. Don't talk about
And
Aziz like that.
All personal opinion. Don't worry, no worry.
Yeah, because you see, like for
Adina,
example,
I'm ready. Apa ni? Kita lagi lama lagi mahal.
Ouch. Like wine, eh?
old wine. Tak, because
Champagne.
yeah, like when we talk about digitalization of the industry, when we are talking about distribution channels and all this, we are still doing manual bookings, we are still doing manual quotations, we are still taking, when you look into Singapore or you look into China, India and the rest of the world, the distribution process has changed. So
all
then we are angry that, okay, why Hotel Bits is taking the bigger share, why DOTW was taking a bigger share, why everyone is taking, and the local travel agent is unable to achieve a certain. So, there's a lot of perception and mindset that we have to change.
Correct.
Overall.
Yeah, we have to reset and restart back.
We have to
Exactly.
reset.
You see, if I want to do business with you, it has to be hassle-free.
Exactly.
Yes.
And nobody wants to do business with somebody who's going to be so troublesome.
Meeting after meeting.
Instead, you should be able to already, there is a set 5 to 8 questions to say, what do you need? And then timing is next.
Yeah.
Timing in such a way that that salesperson, that event coordinator, whoever can take that direction and no need to go and ask around, can I offer this rate? Can I that? No. You empower that person, you enable that person. Don't use the word empower, okay? Because when you empower somebody, dia buat silap, you marah dia. Then what's the point? So you enable that person. Yeah. That means I can do to my best capability what I'm able to do, and let that person make that call. Tapi tak boleh. The mindset is still in such a way that everything you come and ask me, anything out of the rate structure, you come and ask me, and then timing. That can take you between 3 to 6 hours before you reply the email or the question, the WhatsApp business ke apa ke. And by then, 5-6 different companies has already replied.
Yes. The
Agree.
So
timing.
you've lost it. So timing is key. The tool that you use is key. How fast they can provide the information.
Correct.
You should already be able to have, sekarang ni, what I don't know whether it's true or not, but when somebody asks you of a proposal, only then you are calling the hotels to find out, ni boleh ke, ni boleh ke, ni boleh ke,
Exactly.
But by right, you should already have those panel hotels with all the key
in hand,
facilities they're able to provide. Work it in such a way that, okay, the minute the inquiry comes in, okay, you match kan, this one I can give to this property, this convention center, that convention center, set. Jalan.
Zaman sekarang AI dah. Auto
Yeah,
reply.
it's true. We can
Yeah,
Google
it's a gig
around.
technology now.
Yeah,
Correct.
AI.
So we need to take a really good look at ourselves. That's why I think during August, September last year, I actually mentioned in a lot of my, once I was acting president, I was talking on TV and all that. I was saying that reset, look at what are the equipments you currently have, what moving forward, how digital are you? If you don't have it, time to change.
Yes.
Because when you are now going to reopen and you still don't have it, you missed the boat.
Yep, correct.
That.
Yep. Okay. Okay, we are running out of time. Daryl, Aslan, you have anything to ask? This is a last question for you, Daryl.
Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you, Brother Andy and Mr.
Okay.
Halim. Okay.
Yes.
Currently I ada as a outsource for MSU Sabah. So sekarang ni student sekarang as a parents pun diorang tak berapa more
Minat.
to nak ke minat kepada tourism management, hospitality, dia punya course everything semua because yalah the currently the pandemic everything semua
Hotel
uh,
tutup, apa you nak jadi
yes,
hotel,
yes, yes.
hotel tutup,
Betul.
turis tak jalan.
Betul betul even though internship pun dia nak budak-budak intern pun nak pergi dekat tempat intern pun dah tak ada everything semua. So macam mana Ma boleh bantu untuk benda-benda ni Cik Halim?
This is Aziz is fully aware of this. I even suggested to MAH to start up a section called the internship section through MAH. Okay, whereby kita buat ni, MAH becomes the center, and then
academic.
universities will sign up with us. Hotels, our members are here. University sends and say that I have so many students that needs to go out. These are the areas that they cover, year 1, year 2, year 3, what are their specialization, subjects that they're doing, and then kita akan matchkan kepada hotels members kita. Because hotel members will definitely need interns, number one. Number two, you pay an allowance of 600 ringgit, and you have from out of town, what is one room you share 2 person, 3 person kan? What's the business of that? The cost kan? Bukannya you full house every day, betul tak? So, and unfortunately that hasn't started yet. And we hope that can start
Coming soon.
Very soon. Initiate it.
Inshallah.
Very soon.
What I'm doing myself under my own company is that I go and attend all the internship fair of universities, after which I collect resumes from them. I said, anybody who wants me to reach out to the hotel members, you send to me. So I identify where are the states that they want to go. Unfortunately, most of them not KL Selangor, so what I do is I reach out kepada KL chapter, I reach out to Selangor chapter, and I send them the resumes, and I say, okay, here, macam UNITA recently had theirs, and I have about 12 students who are ready to go out for internship in September. So I compile semuanya, and I send it to BE Lim, and I send it to Datin, Jasmine. I said, look, this is 12 students looking out for intern places. Please send out to your members in Selangor and KL. And siapa cepat dia dapat lah kan, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm currently doing, because the philosophy behind all this is quite simple. When I myself was in Switzerland, the school becomes a bureau that's looked out for internships for all the students, and you're talking about 400 students each time, to all the Swiss Hotel Association members. And let's say my semester start in January, by June I'm supposed to go for my internship. By April I dah dapat dah, because I just fill up choice number 1, number 2, number 3, which are the hotels, and then the school will send it out. So
and also have the manpower.
Similar arrangement here. MAH can become the center, MATEC for that matter, since it's education related, kan? And then they become the pool where university signs up with us. There must be some admin fee for sure, and then kita pass out kepada kita punya hotel lah.
They also help the hotel's manpower problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
Daryl, Negeri Sembilan is ready. You're welcome to we are always ready.
Okay. Okay, boss, boleh.
We want to be the leader lah.
Thank you, Haziq.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Angel Halim. We have a full session tonight.
Last thing. Coming back to the students, if we want to make sure that the students join universities and take up hotel and tourism, there must be an area that they can actually get internship and a job after that.
Yeah.
So it's everybody's responsibility, especially us, the hotels, because we are the one who wants to hire them in the future.
That's right.
So we should take the effort lah kan.
We need the talent.
I think MAH boleh buat MOU dengan all these hotels that after this student keluar, dia ada tempat untuk dia buat
Yes,
internship.
yes,
Correct.
yes.
Betul,
Totally.
betul.
I think kita buat satu.
Dulu Halim, those
Yeah.
years our time lah. Nanti Zaria cakap kita ni dinosaur.
sorry, tak ada.
Those years, all the international hotel, they gave the chance to our local. We started off as management trainee.
Correct.
Correct.
That's how we learn, we learn. Dulu Hilton, Halim, those years.
Those years
they
were so
started with
glamour,
management.
I started as a management trainee.
Yeah.
After I
I
came
started as Penguin
management
boy.
trainee. And you will learn all the
all areas.
all areas.
Yes.
Correct.
And we become. That's what we become a good general manager now. Because we
First
learn.
things first.
We learn from
First things
bottom,
first,
yeah.
for all those people out there,
Hmm.
yang mana HR related ke apa,
Hmm.
the interns are under HR, bukan
Yes.
direct department.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never put the interns under direct department because why? They become slave.
Agreed.
Correct. Agree.
So
Agree.
the reporting line must be to the HR and HR monitor. Tengok.
Yeah,
Betul.
yeah. Should be
All
the
the
way.
hotels that
yeah.
I've managed before, I do a passport. I do a little book for them, whereby in every section it covers all the task competencies, it covers all the SOPs, semua attached dalam tu, and then they do their own personal reporting after each section, and that buku is passed back to the HR every week for marking.
Yeah, for
You see?
acknowledgement. Yeah.
And then bila dia punya lecturers or the school comes and check, that book itself becomes dia punya report card lah.
Yeah. And GM also need to involve. Yeah.
Yes, I bring them into my orientation. I bring them into my morning briefings. A day with the GM, I call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kalau silap akhir bulan, department head kena marah, sorry lah.
Okay.
And
That's
of course,
operation,
Halim,
right? That's operation, kan?
Yes.
Yes. that's
kita
it.
pun like just now Shazan was telling,
Mm-mm.
to those hotels, we are having this, staff labor problem. So like those years, so after they finish their internship, well, they have been going through the hotels in our hotel for 6 months,
Yep.
and it will be good that we offer them the job.
Correct.
Yeah, correct,
Because they know our system already.
I mean, to all the hoteliers that are on this chat now, okay, whether you're GM or your HOD or whatever, do you actually currently have a management trainee program? Is it ad hoc or is it bila ada somebody apply for that position, or is it a standard every year there will be a management trainee that is going through your entire organization with a promise of them to be assigned to a good position after that, so it could be a receptionist, it could be a waiter, or at least a supervisor level, kan? Goes through the criteria. So in my place, what I do is every year I will get each department to send me one candidate with their self-written reason why you should be the management trainee, and then we go through the process of selection among the HODs, voting, and then we select.
Yeah.
If there are 2 good candidates for that year, I take 2. And then what we do is they go through the whole process for 3 months, and after which there is potentially a good position for them after that. So it's development of employees within your own organization rather than hiring somebody from outside.
Yeah, we need to focus on this. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Encik Halim, there's a last speech from you. Any advice for all those in the audience in the room regarding travel, tourism?
Motivation
Well,
speech.
Motivation, yeah. There's some positive energy.
First of all is stay vigilant, stay
Yeah.
safe, follow all the required SOPs. Okay, number 1. Number 2 is, as I mentioned throughout the session, you need to be prepared. It doesn't matter what you have in terms of a product or whatever, but if you're not prepared for this big door
Reset.
opening soon,
Change.
reset ni, you may fail.
Face
Okay.
out, yeah.
So at the end of the day, we've gone through 18 months of new learning, new situations. We've lost some friends, we've gained some new friends. So at the end of the day, my only advice or sharing that I can say is, you got to remain positive. We got to concentrate on the things that are relevant.
Yep.
Yang tak relevant tu tak payahlah,
Yep.
because it takes up too much energy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we need to, if you are somebody of a leadership punya role, you need to apa orang kata, have this aura of positiveness to say that things will get better. Eventually. We just have to be patient. We got to trust God in this. We got to make sure that there is that they can come to you should they need advice. And at the same time, if they don't ask you for advice, give it anyways. Because a lot of people are going through anxieties. A lot of people are going through depression.
During this period.
There's been a lot of changes in their own lifestyle. They've lost people. Yesterday was like this. Tomorrow we don't know. So at the end of the day, I think apart from preparing for the business, let's prepare ourselves as well.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Okay,
thank you,
Chairman.
everybody.
Our
I
Chairman
hope it was fruitful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, with a fruitful session. Chairman Tuan Aziz.
Okay, our Tuan Halim, thank you very much for accepting our invitation as guest speaker.
Yeah.
Because I told them that
It's
you
our
are
honor.
a good speaker. It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are, you are a board member of MAH with all the experience, almost equal to me. And as I said, with experience, we travel all over the world. Whatever tak jual pun kita jual to Malaysia.
Betul.
That is our motto. So thank you very much for sharing. Inshallah, and in the future, we hope that you'll be able to join us.
There will be more session to invite, like maybe other chapter chairmen also.
Please link me in. I am very happy to be participating in this.
To share with all our members here, and we have a lot of regulars here. They have been following us, so it's good. We have
over 600 members in this room.
A lot of hoteliers and GM. So also tak lupa juga Tuan Uzaidi
Mita Uzaidi. Uzaidi, do you have anything to say?
Mr. Chair.
He's been our mover to get this thing going with all the good concepts. And a lot of good people. I would say I'm very thankful to know all these people, even though Zahira said we are already a dinosaur.
Sorry, Aziz.
Fosil.
Really nice knowing you.
Aduh, nasib baik dia tak cakap fosil.
Like Halim said, we don't give up. There is no words in my life. Whatever the circumstances, that means this dinosaur is not an ordinary dinosaur. Sama juga dengan Uzaidi lah.
Jurassic Park punya.
Kita semua same gang.
So
Same gang.
Halim, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and to share your knowledge. It was a very useful, very good session today.
Thank you. For the last, any Uzaidi, you have any say?
Thank you, Andy. Nothing much actually. I'm enjoying the session. I really enjoyed Encik Halim's outlook and the visions, and also the what they call some ideas. I learned a lot. In fact, I learned a lot about dinosaurs tonight. So thanks to Zahira. I'm still a millennial guy. Justin Bieber. Same guy as Justin. Same. But again, I would like to say thanks to everybody who are here. We have Dato' Azli here. We have Shama from Majlis Seremban. We have Raniza from Langkawi. We have so many of our friends. Really appreciate of your their attendance here tonight. Again, we have so many events with so many activities here
in the future session. Coming up.
Coming up. We hope that we'll be able to get together once in a while so that to make us not look like dinosaur lah. We are still young. Alright, with that, thank you very much, Andy. Thank you,
Thank
Encik Alim.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Encik
you,
Alim.
Thank you,
Encik Alim.
Alim.
Take
Thank
care.
you,
Thank
Encik
you.
Thank you,
Aziz,
everybody.
Andy.
Thank you, Encik Aziz,
Okay,
Andy.
we should end
Good
this
night.
room,
Yeah, take care. Good
Thank
night.
you,
Yeah.
thank you,
Become,
thank
Stay
you.
safe.
become
Okay,
free.
Yazid.
Safe.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Azwan.
Yeah.
free.
Thank
Halim.
you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Welcome.
Bye. Good
Yep.
night. Good
Bye.
night.
Take
Good
care.
night.
Bye.
Okay,
Okay,
guys.
Joshua,
free.
Take
Joshua.
care.
Yeah,
Joshua.
Joshua in the room.
Take
Joshua in the
care.
room.
Okay,
Yeah.
Encik Aziz, good night.
Thank you.
Andy,
Good
thank you so
night.
much.
So
Encik
And then
Alim,
become
thank you.
free, yeah.
Greg, next time we can
Free.
reenact you punya case lah, Greg.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you.
Alright,
In.
thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye bye.
God
Good
bless.
night. Good
Bye.
night. Good night.
Assalamualaikum.
Good night. Good night.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Good night. Kau tim.